What's going on, guys? So in the last video, basically we got this kind of all smoothed out, not really, but it's all one piece now. And we got these tubs on. So what I got to do now is cut out pieces for this side here, and then we're going to get this here Jeep bed and cut it to fit in there, and we're just trying to get everything nice. And then that shouldn't take a terrible amount of time. So then after that, I'm going to come over to this area right here. So for those of you who don't know, we did this whole, basically we did all the welding and all the body work on this in about 3 hours. No, probably like, it was probably about 6 hours. We put all the body pieces on this, and it was like a rush to try and make the streetcar takeover. And we made it, but we didn't race because we were on zero sleep. We were up for like, I was up for 38 hours straight. It was really bad, but it was fun. So the goal is to kind of get all this ready for paint. So this is obviously a huge eyesore. And then we're gonna fill all of these holes and just try and get this all nice and smooth. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. So that's all the talking I'm gonna do. And we're gonna get to work on the bed. Oh, we got these kind of tacked in place. That's more than the tack. But, so we got those in place. And then what I'm going to do, because this wasn't obviously completely perfect, so I'm going to finish welding all this and then just go over it with the flap disc and get it all smooth. But for a moment, we have to switch from this Jeep to that Jeep. Because this Jeep, it might be kind of hard to see. Do you see all these metal shavings? Kind of randomly sorted throughout the engine bay here. The power steering pump is so far gone that all this metal shaving, and there's a lot more than you can actually see on camera, it's all over the place. The shaft in there is actually so shot that it's spitting out all these metal shavings, and it sounds like da, 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 da. So I got to replace that real quick before we can jump back to the Jeep. So give me just a few seconds to do that, and we'll be back. Quick little update if you give a hoot. This power steering pump was so shot that once I got everything off and took the belt off, the pulley just fell completely out. So I managed to wreck the pulley, trying to get basically the center part out. And so now I gotta go get a new pulley for this. So that's what I'm doing, and then it should be a pretty quick fix once I get back. Short story, this new Harbor Freight regulator here, I basically think it reads differently than what my old meter did. So I've been pumping out like 3 times the amount of gas I've needed because I just filled that up 2 weeks ago, and now it's out again. So that hinders me from finishing this. What I can do is cut the bed out and kind of situate it and plan it, and then I don't really know what else to tell you. I'm out of gas, so I'm making do with what I have. So to measure and cut some more stuffs. Okay, so the space up on the Jeep is 35 long and this is 36, so we need to take 1 inch off of this side. So that is what we're going to do right now. If you guys want to know what happened in this windshield, let me know in the comments below and give the video a thumbs up, and I will show you the slow motion footage of me absolutely destroying it. Well, evidently, this actually did take more time than I thought. I remembered all the little pieces underneath I had to cut to make it fit over the frame. So I had to cut those sections out on each side to clear the frame. And then I don't really know what those are for, but I don't want to just take them out because I'm assuming they have something to do with down there. So I just cut out that little section for it there. And we had to cut this little section out, so it sat down there like that. Still got to finish that one a little bit. So this is going to be bolted down, right? And obviously the sides are not perfect. It's a little shorter down here. The Jeep itself is shorter from side to side down here than it is up there. And it's kind of random because I didn't do a great job. So it was kind of hard to get that line nice. So what I'm thinking is, because this is going to be bolted in and not welded, I'm just going to hide this ugly line with basically the bracket that will bolt down to the Jeep. So I'm going to get a piece of flat stock and put it all the way up and then just bolt it to the sides, and that'll make that look better. I do like how those are turning out, and I did get gas for the welder, so now we can continue doing what we did. I'm going to keep going, and we'll see how far we get. We interrupt this program to show you guys that despite some of my ugly welds that are everywhere, I can actually weld decently. That one is delicious. That one's not bad. That one's pretty all right. Just so you guys know, when I actually prep the metal a little bit and take my time, they turn out better. So, the plan is, so I don't do more work than I have to, I'm going to use these little threaded holes here from whatever was here previously, and I'm basically just going to weld a little bracket over to there. So it's only going to bolt here, but the battery is going to be back there, and it's still going to be supported, so there's no way it's ever going to come off. So I'm confident with that. If it does become an issue, we'll figure that out later. Get that on here, measure that out, drill a couple holes, find some bolts to go in there, call that good. And then since I have gas now, I'm gonna finish welding that and grinding that down real quick. And then we're going to move on to that nonsense. If you notice when I was welding that, I was not welding continuously. I was doing like basically tack over tack over tack, because this metal is so stinking thin, it'll blow right through if I try to do any sort of bead. I was hoping it would turn out good enough to where I wouldn't have to grind it down, because when I do, it makes that metal really thin. I think over time it's gonna crack just because the piece connecting it is so little. But there are a couple spots, like that doesn't look too bad right there, but then there are a couple spots like that that just didn't, and actually back here is pretty gross. Metal just wasn't clean enough or something weird. So I think I'm just gonna lightly grind it down just to make it look nice. This is all gonna be painted over anyways. So I'll just kind of get all the sore thumbs that are sticking up. But I mean, overall, it looks pretty decent. So I also learned that, so I finished that up, and it basically is doing nothing. Like this whole thing, I mean, obviously just with one in the back, but it wobbles a lot more, and those aren't super tight, but we might end up having to add another up here. Otherwise that's gonna, I mean, when we're driving it, it's gonna jiggle like crazy, be super annoying, and we don't want that. So I'll think about that for a moment. But while I'm thinking, since this is kind of where we need it to be, I'm just gonna start on that, because that's a huge eyesore and I'm sick of talking about it. So we're also going to try and fill all of these holes in, which is going to be a giant pain in the butt, but I think, I mean, since we're doing all of it, we might as well do all of it. It appears, I can't really remember what the situation was, because like I was saying, when we finished this, all the body panels, we were on very little sleep and we were rushing. So I don't really know what was going on here, but it appears there's you see how that like kind of snaps in? So there's some tension. I'm assuming basically this piece is probably just a little too big, or so this is where the Jeep was wrecked. I think it rolled. So all this was like super beat up, and I kind of hammered it out to get it looking that bad. So this is probably all under a little bit of tension. So I'm going to, and actually if you can't see, maybe you can, right here it bows out. So I think there's just some tension there. So I'm gonna cut this. It's not gonna be perfect, but it'll be better than it bowing out right in the center there. So that's the plan, that's what I'm doing. So it turns out there actually was just a bit of tension. This piece was just cut a little too long, so I was forcing it out, and it's actually already sitting a lot flatter than it was before. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get that all flush and sucked in, and we'll move on to the other side. I forgot to mention that I'm gonna put these little sheet metal cutouts behind this, so that way basically I can burn through this metal and have this behind it, and then that way when I grind it down flat, it's gonna be a little bit stronger, because if I grind this down with just the weld being right there, it's gonna get super thin if I don't penetrate all the way throughout the entire thing. So this will just be kind of like a backup. So it looks quite nice, actually. Even though I just did this 5 seconds ago up on the bed, I always forget that I need to go way slow, otherwise it warps the metal. So as you can see, this part here is already sinking in a little bit, but what I'm trying to do is get the weld to penetrate all the way through and almost come out on the back side. So that way when I do grind it down, even though we have that piece on the back, if it doesn't touch all the way through, it's still thick enough to maintain strength. Otherwise it's just gonna crack. If I get it too thin, you know, the road vibration and stuff, it'll just crack if I get it too thin. So kind of a hit or miss kind of situation, so whatever. We're also going to cut this little rust spot out, and might as well try and patch that while we're doing all this garbage. Would you look at that? Oh. Just so you guys know, that is weldable primer on that part there. Who's ready for another bad joke? What has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. What kind of car would a snake drive? An anaconda. Oh, it's so bad. Sorry, you know you like it. All right, so we got all this ground down. As you can see on some of these spots where it's uneven basically, and there's a little bit of holes, you know, throughout the welds and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go back through with the welder and hit all the low spots or all the little gaps. I'm not going to show you too much of that because that's getting repetitive. Get all those holes done, get that all ground down pretty good. There are a couple back here, actually that one, yeah, that one's actually, those holes are see-through, so that's really thin, so I need to go over that with the welder again, hit that one and a couple others. But it is sunny outside, if you can tell. It won't adjust to the light, but it's sunny outside, and a lot of you in the last video suggested that I power wash everything underneath here, and I didn't even realize I had a power washer. It's brand new. I've never used it. So it's sunny outside and I have a power washer, and you guys told me to power wash that. So I'm gonna power wash it outside because it's sunny. So so the bug is actually coming back in about 3 hours, which you guys are not gonna see in this video. So look forward to that. And then the guy that I bought this from, my friend, he's coming to get these SI wheels. And there's actually a 6 set of Honda wheels at the junkyard. So I'm gonna grab those in the morning, but he's coming to get these tonight. So I gotta roll this out, I have 2 Honda wheels on it, and then this is gonna go on jack stands. That was irrelevant in telling you that. I don't know why I did. But basically, I gotta clean some space real quick, push this out, bring this outside, power wash as much of this as I can, just get as much junk off as possible. Okay, that's a lot of talking to tell you. I'm gonna power wash the Jeep like you told me to. While I push this outside, I'm gonna do a quick time lapse. So please enjoy some more terrible dad jokes because you liked them so much in the last video. You're welcome. 2 more frog jokes for you. What happened to the frog's car that was parked on a double yellow line? It got towed. So funny. What did the frog do when his car broke down? He jump-started it. Okay, I'm done with those jokes. Luckily, I bought a garden hose for my hydro dipping. It's supposed to reach from that wall to over there. And it reaches all the way through here. So that's cool. So I'm assuming all of that and this is what you guys were wanting me to get rid of. So we'll see if it does it. And that's pretty bad. The neighbor came by and talked for like 20 minutes, so I lost all my beautiful sunlight. But that actually did. I didn't even have degreaser, and it actually did a really good job of getting a ton of crud off. So thank you for the suggestion, because I mean I got everywhere. I even shot it back in there. Sorry, back in there. And then up in the engine bay. I got like all down in there. Like by the motor mounts, and the power steering rack was all nasty. If you guys are worried about any water getting in there or anywhere else, I'm not gonna start this thing for probably another week, so it don't matter. But back here, that was a great idea. That's a night and day difference, so thank you for that. So the Miata cart is leaving tonight to get its cage, and the bug is coming back. The shop is a mess. So I actually have to push the Jeep back out, and then I got to switch the wheels on the Civic. I got to do a bunch of little things that you don't want to watch. So I'm going to call it here. Next video, all the grinding and welding will be done on this side, and then hopefully the whole thing is sanded down, and then we'll get right into the hood, figure out what we're going to do there. And then I'm like, as soon as it's sanded and I know what the hood's going to do, I'm going to prime the whole thing. So that's the plan for the next video. I just realized, well, I mentioned I'm helping my cousin lower that truck tomorrow, and I got a little bit behind on schedule. So there will not be a video tomorrow of the Jeep, but I'm hoping between the time I have after we lower his truck and the next day I can get another video up. I also don't know what I said about how far we get. I'll edit it out or something. But so the plan is for the next video is to get all of the holes filled, everything ground down, everything sanded down, and possibly primered. I want to show you guys as much progress as I can. So basically, if I don't get it primered in the next 2 days, then there will not be a video. I want you guys to stay entertained with this. I don't want to just throw something up. So just wanted to correct that, because as I was cleaning up the shop for the bug to get here, I was like, this isn't this isn't gonna happen. So I might, depending on how the truck video goes or how it goes, I might throw that up, but that's enough of me talking. Just so you guys know, the plan was to do 4 videos in a row, but those last 2 videos were actually pretty long, but I wanted to get enough progress actually in the videos instead of doing what I have been doing and just throwing something up. So, yeah, I said throwing something up. So, just so you know,
heads up, I'll move as quick as I can. I'm really excited, but that stuff all takes a lot of time. And I'm actually out of primer and I'm actually out of clear, so I don't know. I got to check the bank account because it's probably only going to be like $200 for the. It'd be about $300 for both. But okay, that's enough of me talking. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.